Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Command Your Confidence. This is the first Wednesday show I've done in a while, and this is the first time here I have AB Alpha Villains back on. It's always a pleasure having you on the channel.
Absolutely, Rob. What's good, man?
Yeah,
Appreciate you for
Rod.
having me on.
I have one of my clients. I tell my clients about the show and everything, and he's like, "I like the guy, the intelligent black guy. He's my favorite guy." Like you're talking about alpha villains,
Let's
right?
go. I appreciate you, man. Yo,
Yeah,
thanks for
and
having
I'm
me
like,
on, man.
and,
Yeah,
and
man.
I told them, a lot of like even some of the friends that I've turned onto the channel, they really like how you engage the interaction
I
and
appreciate
everything.
that. Let's go.
And
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, so today we're going to talk to you about some dating tips for 2023. So even though we're like what 3 months into 2023, I figure, well, why not just cover this topic? Just talk about what guys can do this year to increase their dating life and how to become good at dating because it can be hard out there for guys to actually go out there and date, especially in this day and age, because we got all like with all the social media stuff and everything, and women have lots of options, but then guys can have lots of options too. And I think they got to have that awareness, like the types of girls, like they're going to be really down for meeting up with them and everything.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely tough because of social media. Because whenever we look at reels and highlights or stories, people tend to highlight and capture the best moments of the particular night. So we're gauging somebody's lifestyle based on 30 seconds to a minute. But a lot of guys, so that kind of intimidates a lot of guys. So now because they see something that looks really, really cool, they think that they don't have enough money to be able to participate in that. And that kind of diminishes their confidence. And now they're not asking the women out because now they feel like they can't compete with what everybody's seeing on social media. The first thing guys need to do, in my view, I think guys need to go back to the basics. You'd be surprised, man, that things that smaller is usually better in this particular case, but it's all about the details. You don't have to do something really, really lavish with the woman. You can do something really simple, but have a lot of details encompassed in that simple event. And that way you can become the experience for the woman. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because a lot of times when you go above and beyond to try to take a woman out, usually where you took her is the experience. But when you kind of keep it a little bit smaller, you have a better chance of being the experience for the woman. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
at the end of the
Right.
day, whenever you're not in her presence, she's going to be missing that experience as opposed to the goddamn steak at the nice restaurant you took it to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. But I've been getting, one of the things like, yeah, I mean, I probably noticed, but I've been getting a lot of compliments on is just my charisma and everything. 'Cause I'm very good at being
Mm,
charisma and confident and everything. And I think like by being confident in who I am and everything, and not having to feel like I got to be like a cookie cutter guy who has to make money and just just kind of go with the flow and be comfortable with expressing who I am. I find that I'm able to be more charismatic because I just don't care anymore, and I've been getting
right,
acceptance. Whereas
right, right,
before,
right.
yeah, I had that. I love these crowds going here. I got to work my machine one of these days.
Nah, good.
um, but as before though, like I remember I go into things with the mindset that like yeah, I had to have lots of money. I had to have like a particular car. I had to have a certain
Right,
look and everything. And
right.
a lot of that stemmed from what you mentioned this earlier is what I saw on social media and what I heard on YouTube, other YouTube channels and everything. And that
Right.
kind of like it killed my confidence for a bit because like I felt like I had to be like this person in order to have that. And I mean, really, some of that stuff that you see online, most people who complain about it are people who have low self esteem and low self image and don't know
Right.
themselves. And and also some of that stuff that there's guys who portray that they're not really living. Some of them can be phony. They're not really living that
Precisely.
lifestyle.
Right. It's an oasis, man. It's basically, again, it's showing, again, when you go out, man, most people are either on their phones trying to show everyone that they're having fun instead of actually having fun. So, again, guys, I know that we see certain things and we want to try to impress the woman because usually the woman has a lot more experience than us because she's usually taken out more, right? They go on a lot more dates. So at the end of the day, if you go back to the basics and somebody does indeed decide to want to hang out with you or go out on a date with you, if you scale back and you really focus on the details, now she has no other choice but to focus on you. And you could be
Hmm.
charismatic, and again, you can be the experience. So no matter where you go, whether it's to the goddamn baseball game, it's a concert, it's a restaurant, it's the beach, she's gonna have that same experience because you're the common denominator in every scenario that you go to. So that's how you pretty much set the dates up and shit. Focus on becoming the experience for the woman. So no matter what you guys do, she's gonna have a good time because you're the experience.
Right, and that's exactly what I began to focus on. How
Right.
can I make provide the best experience for her? Through knowing who I am as a person. And I think a lot of us fail to look and we probably talked about this several times, but a lot of men they just fail to kind of figure out who they really are, and they do have a lot of strengths. They got to figure out how to work on those strengths when it comes to their dating life, and when they can have that realization of their strengths they can apply that, and when they can, especially if they can learn to be authentic and real about that.
Right. Man, so critical what you said because that aha moment, Rob, that aha moment, you're like, oh my fucking God. Oh my God. I can't believe this. Oh my God. You just realize, you just wake up one day and you realize how dumb you were, or you realize that, yo, I am the shit, right?
Hmm.
A lot of guys don't believe it because they've never experienced it. And a lot of guys don't devote time to themselves to give themselves an opportunity to discover who they are and feel that. You know what I'm saying? Because they now it's like FOMO, it's like fear of missing out. So at the end of the day, when a lot of guys don't when a lot of guys don't focus on putting themselves first and have that moment of clarity, they're not going to be able to be in a position where you are. Be
Right,
the
exactly.
experience. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, guys, we're talking about dating for 2023. As you can see, we're talking about, we haven't even said anything about going out anywhere. All we've been talking about you being the experience and being the
Yeah,
date and being
right. That's
charismatic.
true.
So I want you guys to understand that the common denominator in any year, 23, 24, 25, is always going to be you. So you want to make sure that before you decide to do something fancy with a woman, make sure that you're that experience and you give yourself that time, that aha moment. So you realize, man, I am the shit. I just don't care anymore because it is what it is.
Right, exactly. And I think a lot of it also comes from just going out there and experience and stuff. I think I mean, once you've kind of gotten to that point in your life where you kind of are able to go out on multiple dates and stuff. I mean, you're able to I think you practice that and it's the more experience you go out and dates you have on women or whatever your experiences you have, and then over a while it just becomes like a natural thing. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's weird. I'm just realizing this after a couple of years of just kind of just having self awareness and stuff. But that's I've just kind of realized some of my strengths and stuff. And I mean, right now I'm just kicking ass in it. So
Nice.
yeah, to the
Isn't
point
it a
where
great feeling, man? Yeah, it's like now that you're kicking ass and now that you're actually kind of winning, you understand the winning streak and you just feeling good. You're consistently growing. You actually have to give yourself some time to reminisce about the losing days. And then you're
Mhm.
like, damn, bro, I was so stupid. And this is why we do what we do, guys. We're talking here, we're just chopping it up as two men who have grown and who want to share because and let you know that you guys can grow too. But it's a matter of, again, you got to put yourself first in order to have a great date, have a really good time with the woman. You got to be in a mindset where you want to have a good time. So that way you can show the girl a good time, man. Why not? Because shit, girls want to have fun. So why not
Right,
accommodate?
exactly. Well, no, and you've made a good valid point. Yeah, you got to have that mindset. I think a
Yeah,
lot
man.
of guys they just take dating so seriously because of everything that's
Right.
thrown at them in real life that they forget to focus on the girl. But they think about more externals like money and shit like that.
Right.
But they forget about the emotional experiences that you can meet a woman on.
Speaking of money, let me ask you this though. So I'm sure guys get this or they wonder all the time. What's your take on, we're talking about dating in 2023. In order to date, you got to have some money. What's your take on paying for the dates? Now, what's your take on paying for the first date? And should a guy, because he's quote unquote alpha, should he pay for all the dates? Or
Mhm.
should he, like, what's your take on that? I'm sure people will be curious to hear about that.
Well, I mean, I normally like I'll treat a girl to a drink or two, but that's it. Like I don't like
Right.
anything outside of that. I just set a boundary and said, "Well, hey, I invited you out to
Nice.
drink." But sometimes though, I've gone out on dates and like girl will I'll buy a drink, and the girl will get the second round.
Nice.
Is good.
Let me ask you this. Is that a if a girl does it, does she get extra points?
You know what? Yeah, it is kind of cool because I mean, it's like it shows me that she's taking the initiative, and it shows me all the interest as well.
Very good point. Very good point. And I think it's a perfect segue for us to kind of go into the dating portion. You heard what Rob said. Rob says that, if somebody does a gesture, something going a long way, it shows initiative. Now, I think it's important, Rob, for us to talk about initiative, right? In the sense where the woman is showing initiative in you to earn a date. Because
Hmm.
us, we can ask chicks out all the time. That doesn't take a lot of initiative for us. But does the girl deserve a date? So we work hard. We want to have a good time, but we want to show the right woman a good time. So just because she's got a nice ass and nice breasts doesn't mean that you guys should be spending your money. Because what happens is if you don't understand yourself, you're not vetting a woman properly, you're gonna wind up spending so much money, then you're gonna be bitter and mad at women. And in
Right.
essence, you're in control of how you deal with the outcome. Basically, in a nutshell, you take your time. If she's showing initiative of interest, right? She's texting you back, she's texting you more than you're texting her, she's calling you, she's checking in. That's like, damn, this bitch deserves a this bitch deserves a date. Let's go out because she really likes me.
Hmm.
So that's very important too in 2023 and moving forward, making sure that there is a high level of interest because at the end of the day, if she's relatively decent and looking, she's gonna get asked on dates all the goddamn time. So in order for you to understand and see that it's gonna be worth your time, she better be fucking showing a lot of high interest in order for you to move to the next level, bro. Because if not, you're just another schmuck on the goddamn assembly line.
Right. Exactly. Well, and I kind of, it's really hard to tell for me at least after like the first date, but I can, for the starting out though, it's just like I look for as the girl on time, I was actually, I remember a couple weeks ago, I was supposed to meet this one girl that I met out at a nightclub, and then like 5 minutes before she was supposed to show up, because I always like to get to a bar like 10 minutes early.
Right. You gotta scope out the area, bro. You gotta
Yeah,
make sure.
exactly.
Yeah.
I normally like to get to the bar area so I can sit next to the girl and stuff, because it allows me to like, have
Yeah,
that
yeah. Body language.
eye contact, and if I want to hold her hand, I can hold her hand.
Right. Let's
You
go.
know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah. You got body language, bro. Let's
Yeah,
go.
exactly. Yeah, there you go. And so, like, but anyways, so I got, she sent the message like, well, I'm running late. And then I asked her, I just, after 5 minutes, I was like, okay, I should ask her, well, how late are you running? And when she said 20 minutes, I'm like, well, you know what? You can go home.
Let's go.
Yeah. 'Cause-
Fuck out of here,
and
bro.
then,
Don't
and
waste
then
my
she's like,
time.
she was trying to, and she's like, well, why are you telling me, like, I guess she had to drive like an hour and a half supposedly,
Ooh.
but she said that's why she was late. But even if you had to have driven that far, you could have been on time. And I told her like the reason why I'm not going to wait around is because I value my time. And then she's like, well, I value my time too. So I'm like,
Let's go.
oh. And
Fuck
then she
that.
sends like a cute selfie of how she sends a picture of herself, and I'm like, I didn't text her back until later, but I'm like, okay, thank you very much. But I ended up, but you know what? Though? I ended up staying at this place, because for a bit, because I was talking, I'm a very social person, so I was talking with someone, we were talking, linking up about music and stuff, just local band. So, I mean, I could have waited, but I just said, I just told her to go home because, like, I had an idea,
Nice.
like, honestly, to me, as someone, understands shit happens. You don't give me any notice or anything, like,
Right.
uh,
That's a
like
fact.
it's actually bad.
Bro, that is fucking awesome. Let me ask you this, man. Did you ever think you would be in a position for a cute girl driving all the way an hour and a half away to come see you to be like, you know what? Forget it. You turn back around. Did you really
Right?
think
No,
you'd get there, bro?
no, I didn't. I
That's
didn't.
what I'm saying. That's growth, Rob.
Yeah, it
We
is.
leveling up, bro. Can you imagine? Like you said that shit 2 years ago, 3 years ago. you're gonna cancel a bitch. Man, fuck that shit. Go turn your ass back around. And it's nothing. It's like whatever. And even if she drove an hour and a half, you would have felt guilty. But because you've grown so much, you know how to pick and choose who you're gonna be with, and that shows a lot more value in yourself. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
exactly. Well, to me, like it's just a sign of respect. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And also, but another thing I try to calibrate too is like, if I show interest in the girl and then she's not showing interest on the first date, like or after that, I don't really want to at least put my time into like doing that. But I know, going after, and a lot of guys will do that, because
Right.
they don't have any value for themselves and they just focus all their attention on the woman.
Yeah, you stupid, bro. Nah, that's goofy. Right. I'm not with that shit. You're not gonna it doesn't make sense, bro. It doesn't make sense. It's like why would you do that?
Right,
You know
exactly.
what I'm saying? Like, why would you do that?
Yeah, I don't know, but some people do that though. So,
It is what it is. Yeah.
mhm. But no, and so I mean, I think it's important for guys to have developed like kind of standards and everything. Like just have like I mean, you're kind of saying, well, what when it's like a good time to start investing in a girl. I mean, you got to. That's all again. All starts from like knowing yourself and everything.
Yeah, like let me ask you this though. So I think it's important too. We kind of need to touch on this as well. Like how many the date rule, the sex and date rule, right? Because a lot of times too, depending on what you're looking for, it depends, man. I mean, it's gonna vary from everybody. It's gonna depend on the energy, how the level of attraction to see whether you're gonna smash her on the first night. But you know, if you meet a girl, you link up with her, and she comes to your house on the first date, are you gonna look at her in a different way,
I
or
don't. I don't. I just kind of look at things as if things are natural. But some people will put a label on all that. Like,
right? You don't give a fuck because you want to smash,
yeah. Well, to me, it's more of like I don't know. Yeah, the attraction's there. It's kind of a natural thing, and like, there's nothing
right?
wrong with that. I don't judge people for that, but I just don't like a lot of people like have labels for stuff, and a lot, and my rule is like, I do like a third date type of thing because I mean, I understand, that's
Right,
some people do
right.
that. I'm very kind, but
Right. I'm a patient man. I'm a patient
yeah,
man, but
exactly,
three
exactly.
strikes and you're out, bitch. You either turning over, you're bending over, or you're out of here.
Yeah, but well, and during that time frame, I still so I will flirt with the girl and see
For
if she's
sure.
reciprocating. If she's not
Yeah.
reciprocating back, then I know it's a waste of my time.
Right. Yo, very important, bro. I want you guys listen, man. For make sure you guys like the video. You share the video, you guys leave a comment on this video because this is grown man talk, man. Rob and I have grown on camera. We're grown on camera. The levels of conversation that we're having. We're talking about standards. We're talking about seeing if the woman is interested in you. We're not wasting any fucking time. We're being kind. We're not disrespecting the woman, but we're just setting a boundary for ourselves because we value ourselves. You understand? This is the title of this video is dating tips in 2023. We're talking about all you got to do is focus on you, bro. And anything that you decide to do is gonna win because you're
Yeah,
that dude. You know
exactly.
what
Well,
I'm
that's all
saying?
you got to do, and I think, well, and that's what people fail to realize. They fail to focus within, and sometimes you can get distracted and forget about focusing on it, and it happens, and you have to have
Mm.
that awareness and everything.
Bro, you said some crazy shit right there, bro. Sometimes you get distracted from keep staying focused. Yeah, bro. Life gets in the way. Life's gonna throw you curveballs. So you really have to, you guys, this is an everyday thing, man. It's exhausting, it's tiring, but when you get the hang of it, of being a man, knowing yourself, valuing yourself, working on yourself, there's no fucking turning back, bro. I don't know one guy who really started to value himself, understand himself, put in the work that wanted to go back to the loser that he was prior to that. It's
Hmm.
a one-way street, man, and I promise you it's tough. But once you start getting the hang of it, bro, you don't see shit the same, bro. You're looking at bitches like, man, turn back around, bro.
Right.
I'm good. I don't really
Yeah.
give a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, exactly. And I don't know. I think the more you do it, like I said, the more natural you become at it. But it is a rough process. I mean, there's like, I mean, even like when you are good, you kind of think, wish you could do better. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I think it like in order to like move forward with this, you got to fucking go through all the trials and tribulations, deal with all the bullshit. I
Mm.
think that helps you be confident. Like the way I look at everything, like even if it doesn't, if an experience doesn't turn out with a woman, hey, you fucking put yourself out there. You gain, you're able to have that experience with the person. You can learn from it for next time. But I just, just started to, realize it's just, like I said, I'm going back to what I said earlier, but it's just focus, being comfortable with who you are and just expressing
Right.
who you are. I think that's the best thing. And once you can do that without being afraid, you are gonna start attracting a lot of women. But that takes a lot of practice. That takes a lot of
Right.
that it takes a lot of self reflection in order to figure that out. And
Right.
so if we're gonna go, so so like instead of like we're talking about looking at money, so social media, looking at other people, like it's important to look within and kind of solidify that, and then once you solidify that, put them in practice that in the real world, and yeah, you're gonna have hurdles along the way. Nothing's gonna be perfect. That's when you do it over a period of time. It's gonna be natural.
It's gonna be amazing, man. It's an amazing feeling, man. You're talking so much facts because it's like that self-reflection, that introspection. That's the key, man. And you, like you said, it's hurdles and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, when you focus on yourself and you understand, man, you're really going to open up a whole bunch of doors that you didn't even know that you had a key to, right? And then you're going to start
Mhm.
attracting so many different types of women that are going to enhance you, that are going to polish you, that are going to support your grind, that are going to support the fact that you want to become better. You becoming better makes them more attracted to you. There's a whole floodgate of women that you will start to attract. And what happens then? That facilitates the dating because now bitches are starting to look at sending you restaurants and shit. They're like, oh my God, I saw this nice restaurant, this Mediterranean restaurant, Rob. We got to try it. It just opened up. All right, boom. She's inviting, she's paying for the goddamn date. You're getting a drunk and then you're banging around. I mean, it's all connected. But if you don't work on yourself, guys, and you focus on the television and the podcast and what women want, you're not focusing on what they need and what you need to give them what they need, you're not gonna be in good shape, man. And then at that point, then you start a vicious cycle of hating women, where women don't really need to be hated; they just need to be understood so you can handle them.
Right. And okay. And now you mentioned that, I think, see, I think a lot of problems men have with dating, like, not just throughout the ages, and even 2023. I think they just have a negative attitude about women, and they blame women for their lack of success. Or they go out there and they try to, um, become successful with women, but yet they don't think they can do it. And really, they and again, it's all about self-reflection and kind of
Right,
realizing, well, hey, the problem is you, the way you're kind of thinking about women, the way you're thinking about yourself. And, hey, your skill set is not there. You got to be able to figure out your skills. You got to, figure out who you are, and then you
right,
can develop your own skill set from there.
right. Now you kicking mad game, and this yo, it's crazy. You know, it's interesting, guys. You know, whenever Rob and I get up, he'll throw a topic at me. I'll be like, I bet, bro. I'll see you then. And then it just turns into something like else. Like it just turns into some shit. Like we just talking some real shit because he's talking a lot of game, man. And I want you guys, you supporters, Command Your Confidence channel. He's got a book out. Everything that he's done, and appreciate the growth. You know, the growth and the confidence that he's displaying. This isn't an act. He's developing, and he's not letting you guys know. I'm letting you guys know that we can all grow together if you just put in that work. You got to be the proof. You got to be congruent because a pleasurable date, a good experience on a date is a man who's congruent, not a man who's going to lead with his wallet and take a woman on a really fancy date with no substance. You got to be the substance. And the way to be the
Right.
substance is to look at the goddamn mirror, introspection, put in the work. You got to work anyway, so you might as well put in the work for yourself so you can be the best version of yourself.
Right, exactly. And and like I said, I think a lot of where I kind of gain my social confidence again is just kind of going out there and just talking to a bunch of people, going out there and taking the reps, and um, then
Mhm.
again, like just kind of making the effort to reach out to a lot of women and stuff.
Right.
I mean, so you kind of like learn from there, like, okay, so your mistakes and everything, and how you can refine them. Then you go out there and you put that into the real world and everything. But I think like what it boils down to is like when you can just like, and this takes time, and you can just be authentic and like who you are and know who you are and be comfortable. Like I know I say this all the time, but it's so true. It just makes everything a lot easier because you're not going to give a fuck
Right.
if, like, you meet a girl and it doesn't work out,
It is what it is.
and you got to know what you want. Like,
Man.
I remember like I was just
Fuck.
kind of messing around with this girl for a bit, and she was like, "I don't see myself having a relationship with you." And I said to her, "I wasn't looking for a
Let's
relationship."
go.
Oh,
Bitch, who you talking
yeah.
to? Fuck.
Then she's like, "Oh," and then because she thought she hurt my feelings, I'm like, "Oh, I'm not sad. I
I'm
wasn't
good.
looking
Yeah,
for a
it's cool.
relationship, God."
Yeah.
But no, I don't know, like, and also like another thing, like outside of women though, is you just gotta have other shit going on because like
Facts.
that's, I mean, that will just help you deal with shit when when things
Right.
are not going right. I mean, we talked about this on past podcasts,
Yes.
but when we're working on what we're doing, or you got something else going on, you don't have to be doing a podcast. You don't have to be doing like a web design business. What I'm doing, but find something you enjoy doing. Go out there and
Right.
do that instead of just focusing on women all the time. Because I think a lot of these guys, I mean, most men who get frustrated with women, they don't have nothing else going on in their lives, and
Right.
because they make women the center of their lives and everything, and they fail to
Mm.
realize all that shit.
Man, and it's so easy to get mad at them because all your focus is in on them. It's you're honed in. You're locked into just one thing. So it's easy to nitpick and get frustrated because she doesn't text you back, or she forgot to say goodnight to you, or she decided not to go out with you. So it's easy to get frustrated. But when you have a lot of shit going on, like Rob said, it helps you deal with the other things that are going on in your life. I got a lot of shit going on, but I got so many things that I'm doing. It helps me deal with the fact that I got a lot of shit going on. Imagine having a lot of shit going on and not having anything to do to occupy your time. So that's very important because again, women feed off of energy. And when you're disheveled, you work a lot and shit, and this is the first date that you've been on in a month because you're not socializing, you don't do anything else. She's gonna see how thirsty you are. And because she's going to see how thirsty you are, she's going to take advantage of that and she's going to string you along before she decides to let you see her vagina. So at the end of the day, when you have a lot of shit going on and you're focused, it gives you the ability to be present in that moment because you work hard and you play hard, but at the same time, you leave that shit outside of that shit so you can be present and have a really good time. And again, be that experience for that woman so she knows, at least even though he hustles a lot, whenever he's with me, he makes me feel like I'm the only one in the room. And that's important, bro, because you don't have to do something fancy because the bitch is gonna be distracted by all the goddamn lights and all the ballers in there. But if you do something really scaled back and you're the focus, now all you have to do is to kind of see whether or not you really like her or not. And if you really like her, then you can kind of just control the situation.
Right, exactly. So no, there's a whole lot of things that the how should I say, like chemicals that make the perfect formula. It's like there's a lot of things that that will help you enhance your dating lifestyle.
Right.
Like I do believe, like so like like, hey, mindsets work, but I think sometimes too having a good style is important. Like that, that's like the last thing I
Yes, let's
focus
talk
on. You know
about
what I'm
that.
saying?
Right.
But it's like hygiene, style. I mean, because hygiene is going to show that you're healthy. It's going to show that you care about yourself. You know what I'm saying?
That is very important. Even though it may sound a little redundant, it's important, guys. It's you don't have to be the most stylish. You don't have to be, you know what I mean, to have the best designer clothes on. But the key things that are focused that is in control of is the way that it fits,
Mm-hmm.
the way that it's pressed. Is it pressed? Is it wrinkled? Is it dirty? And is it age appropriate too? That's another thing too, Rob. Age appropriate or event appropriate, right? Like if you're going out to a goddamn brunch and shit, like if you're fucking wearing like New Balance and shit with jean shorts and a goddamn jersey, it's not a good look, my bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you want to make sure that if you're going somewhere nice, you dress nice the way you see nice, but you at least, you keep it making sure that you look like you belong there. Because if you're wearing goddamn flip flops and jean shorts and shit at a nice restaurant, people are gonna see you as like you've never done this before. And then when a woman feels like you've never done this before, you don't have a lot of experience, that's gonna turn her off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
gonna turn her off. So at the end of the day, that's important. Hygiene, style, a man who cares about his appearance. It doesn't have to be all crazy, but a man who takes time and takes pride in what he wants to appear, or at least how he cares about how he looks, a woman will appreciate that, because most women take the time out to look beautiful for you. So if you're taking the time out to look good for yourself, which you can appreciate, that's a plus.
Right. No, and I know, and I agree with you. Like, I mean, I just, I'll take some time to, if I'm, especially if I'm in a hurry, just to kind of look at. I'm all about like first impressions. I do think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, if you meet some, depending on how you meet that person, like, say you've already met, but I believe like style and stuff is a part of a good first impression, along with personality. But I think personality and confidence trumps that, because like
Agreed.
to me it's more powerful.
Right.
But I mean, it's just like if you got a good style and stuff, that's just like an extra thing you can add to your arsenal to help you like kick ass.
Right. And that's a dating tip. That's a basic dating tip, but a lot of you guys still don't take it seriously. You guys think that because it's kind of like duh, like obviously Captain Obvious, you guys still tend to disregard that. When we talk about hygiene and we talk about style, that kind of goes hand in hand with the way you smell. It doesn't have to be Creed. It doesn't have to be really expensive goddamn cologne. But if you have something that kind of smells good in the pressure point areas, maybe your goddamn wrist, your beard, you shake her hand, you hug her, these is part of the experience. So next time she smells something that smells similar to you, she's gonna think about you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? She's these are the experiences. You made her laugh and shit. You know what I mean? You talked about certain things. You were in control of the situation. Experiences, because I can assure you, a lot of women go out on dates, but not all the dates are memorable for the right reasons. A lot of them are memorable for bad reasons, because a lot of dudes don't know how to be themselves on a date. They're too busy trying to impress her, and as a result of that, it's just like every other date for a guy who's sweating her. But if you're in a situation where you know that this bitch is lucky to be on a dinner date with you, you're gonna be kind of going back and forth and shit. So that way the girl can kind of extract information to learn about you. She's
Mhm.
fortunate to be with you. You have to have that mindset.
Right. No, and that's true. So some it's funny that we're talking about this. That I have also like talked with certain women, some been on dates with women, and they told me like stories about how guys would just brag about their finances or brag about their cars and
Mm.
everything. And no, you remember Karen, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I saw her on Saturday, and we were catching up for dinner. She was telling me this story about a guy that she was talking with, and he was just like flashing out his riches and stuff, thinking that she would like him because of that. And
Right.
she meets so many. She was telling me she meets so many guys like that
Sure.
that it's just kind of a turnoff for her.
Yeah, that's weird, man. And I've never really been like that. Now, for me, I like, I guess I would consider myself cocky, arrogant. It's in my mind, right? But at the end of the
Right.
day, um, it's flashing and doing shit like that, like bragging about your money. I think I've never really been that type of dude, because people who are wealthy, who are affluent, they kind of know, like they know that watch, even though it doesn't have a big name brand, they kind of know that watch. They kind of see the shoes, they kind of see the belt, the way that you carry yourself. It looks like you've been here before. You know how to behave. You know how to travel. You've flown. So when a woman sees that you know how to do certain things that she may not be privy to, or she experienced with the last rich dude that she was with, she's gonna say, "Wow, this guy is cultured. He's been around the block." Because we all know that a woman wants guy with experience, because experience on a man is attractive as opposed to an experience on a woman is unattractive, right? So at the end of the day, guys, we're talking about dating tips in 2023. How do you become that guy with experience? You go out on more dates. You increase your numbers, you do the things that we're talking about, and you go out on more dates so you can be the experience. You can learn from women, and that way, because it's a vicious cycle. Every time you meet a woman and shit, you get that experience. You take it back, you customize that, and you become an experience for another woman. That's
Hmm.
what it is.
No, that's true. That's how you do it. And yeah, you just got to be comfortable going like you just got to like be okay with if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. You look at every date as like an experience that will help you get to the next
I
level.
think
So
that's
where
the key. Yeah, that's definitely the key, especially with dating, right? It's called dating. You may never see the
Mhm.
broad again. That's part of the game. Even though you vet a woman, you take your time and shit. Dating is really quick, bro. You got to
Like I
kind of
said, like a lot of guys just kind of fail to realize all that stuff.
right. It's of the essence. Kind of like if you lock eyes with the woman, you got about at least 7 to 10 seconds to say something to her to grab her attention and shit, or she's just gonna turn away. So just like dating and shit, if you get a match and shit and you guys like each other, you get to know each other, let's see what's up with the date. So you're trying to close. But it takes practice to know to time it to kind of see what works for you and not. But the only way you get better at practicing is by doing it. And once you start
Mhm.
doing it and shit, then
Right.
it just becomes second nature.
Right. No, and that and you got to keep up with that consistency. And so once if you keep up that consistency, that eventually is going to help you out and everything, and it's going to help you develop that skill set. And you just can't be like afraid that like things don't go right. You just can't you know get all upset about it. You just got to be able to push forward and everything and make that happen, regardless.
Absolutely.
Like I think
Right.
like when you can have that realization, you go there and put forth all that action and effort and have those experiences. That the more, like you said, the skills you're going to gain, the more experience you're going to have, the more comfortable you're going to be with putting yourself out there. I mean, I realized that yeah, when I eventually started going out on dates, like I'm a totally different person than where I was like 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was, I don't know, my personality was dry. I was had a hard time flirting and everything. But I learned that, I took small actions. I didn't. You learned not to give a fuck and just kind of try things.
Mm.
And I think you got to go in there with a not give a fuck attitude.
Right.
And because once you do that, you'll see that you can grow past your comfort zone. 'Cause I think a lot of guys have a hard time, I should say, breaking free of their comfort zone, and they just repeat a lot of the same behaviors that get them nowhere with women.
Right, man, that's important. Comfort zones. Comfort zones in 2023. You guys want to have dating tips? You guys, comfort zones. Get out of your comfort zones. Again, I always say this all the time. A woman doesn't want an equal. She wants a man who can teach her something. In
Mm-hmm.
order for you to be able to teach a woman something, you have to have experiences to teach her. You have to put it in
Mm-hmm.
action, right? You have to kind of know what you want and kind of go after it and learn from the fact that maybe it works and maybe it doesn't. But that
Yeah,
comfort zone
right.
is right. You got to be comfortable. So that comfort zone is very important because it's easy. I think we've all been there. It's easy to be comfortable. It's easy to just say, fuck it, man. I'm tired. I don't want to do it. I want to do what everyone else is doing. But when you do that, you don't set yourself apart. You just become another number. At the end
Right.
of the day, we got to try to be as unique as possible. We got to do things that are going to make us feel good and going to be conducive to our life. The only way you can achieve that, guys, is to get out of that comfort zone. Women are designed to be comfortable, right? This is what we provide for them. Men are built. That's why we're stronger and bigger to deal with the things that are uncomfortable to achieve the things that most men want and can't achieve. So at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
you got to get out of that comfort zone, bro. And part of being out of that comfort zone is asking more women out on dates. Ask more women out on dates so you can understand the dynamics and you can kind of understand your delivery and learn from it.
Mm-hmm. Right. No, and that's true. Like, and I just posted some shorts on this, but if you want to grow as a person, like you're gonna have to, you're gonna have to do stuff that's uncomfortable. So
Very
if you don't do that, you're just gonna remain stagnant in yourself.
right. It's growing pains.
Yeah, it is.
It's growing pains. That's what it is.
So I mean, but once you can go out there and do that, like you actually like you'll see some growth and everything. Yeah, it's gonna suck at first. You're gonna feel uncomfortable, but like if you go out and you actually take the action, like you'll become comfortable with it, and I think that's when you grow.
Right. Exactly. That's for
hmm
sure.
So, but I mean, it's a long path though. It's not an easy path, and it's a learning experience. But I think once you can learn from the experiences, I got my dog whining over here.
Nah, you're good. Yeah, 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 yeah. Nah, I know
uh,
you got a lot of shit going on too. Nah,
yeah,
she probably has to go out or something like that. I
yeah.
hear you.
She wants to just come up probably on the live. There we go. I think she just wants to hang out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, she's
That's a
good.
beautiful dog.
Yeah,
It's a greyhound.
yeah, the Italian Greyhound.
Nice. Yeah, that's a pretty dog. Look at that coat, man.
Yeah, I've had her since like she was like 9 months old. She's about
Oh,
7. So she's pretty.
what?
Yeah, the
Oh, shit.
Italian Greyhounds are small, which are nice.
Right, right, right. Yeah, that's a beautiful coat, man.
So,
That's
but
dope.
God, I lost my train of thought. But my dog can be a good wingman a wing woman.
That's what I was gonna say. That's another
Yeah.
dating tip that maybe you guys. I mean, it's a lot of responsibility, but if you are an animal lover and you know what I mean, you're a guy that you want unconditional love, you want something that's going to help you when you're going through some mental shit, man. Get a dog, man. Man's best friend for a reason. Get a nice dog like that, man, with a nice coat, bro. That'll eliminate a whole bunch of bullshit, and that's a great dating tip, man. Walk around with a cute fucking dog on the beach
Yeah.
and shit. You'll get a lot of bitches coming coming at you and shit, wanting to know what's up. And that's when you start to implement some of the conversation techniques.
Right,
That's
exactly.
it. You know what I'm
But the
saying?
only thing probably have a problem with though, because my dog's name is Ashley, so I can't meet any girls with the name
Right. Because
Ashley.
you might get the bitches might get confused.
Yeah, exactly. They probably would.
Right. That's just funny. You got two bitches and shit named Ashley. You're like, fuck.
Yeah.
You understand? That's
So,
awesome.
but yeah, no, like a dog's a good tip, but yeah, it's a lot of work too. So
Yeah, it's a
plus
lot
it
of work.
requires a lot of attention.
Yeah,
Like
man.
what's attention now?
Yeah,
Careful, careful.
for sure. Yeah, she was feeling neglected, so she's like, man, I want to come on camera.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
fucking
it's like
awesome.
I got to get some attention online.
Right. Exactly.
Trip over this internet cable here, otherwise we get disconnected here. But
Right.
no, a dog's a good one, and then but no, but I think like again, like I think, and do we have one last one you can think of before we end the show here?
Sure. You know what? I mean, this is gonna sound really silly, but I think the number one tip before we get up out of here, man, the number one tip that you guys should focus on in 2023 for dating is do something that you like to do.
Hmm.
Introduce her to your world. That's very important. A lot of guys tend to step into a woman's orbit because she's been wined and dined. She's gone on so many dates. And then we tend to think that the woman is refining us because she's exposing us to shit. But at the
Hmm.
end of the day, we all have access to the information and we all have the ability to expose ourselves to something. We don't always have to experience something with the woman, we can experience it for ourselves. So at the end of the day, find out, do things that you like, to take chances and experience different things, and then that way you can start to have your own experiences, and then you could want to choose a woman that you can kind of bring into those type of experiences and introduce them to those experiences. That way you're in control. That way you look like a man who's been around the world, and that way you get to kind of control the narrative, because even if the date goes bad, at least you're doing something that you like. That's the number one thing. A lot of guys focus too much on what they think a woman will want to do, as opposed to focusing on the things that they like to do.
Right, and see, I was just going to mention this too, but bring a like one of the things I like to kind of do is bring a woman into my reality and stuff. I do that with my
Boom.
mindset and everything, and
Right.
I think once you can, and that's a good way to start it out too. Like figure out, just do something for yourself, and because like it's going to show a woman that you got shit going on in your life, outside of just work and just going on dates trying to find someone. And like
Right.
woman sees you got all this fun shit going on in your life, like you're going to come off as an exciting guy in her eyes.
Right. And that's the key. And you not only, there's so many win-wins, man. When you start living your life, you decide how you want to live your life, and then you actually start doing it. There's so many perks to doing what you want to do, as opposed to being, doing what you think you should do, or doing what you're told to do. So this is part of being a man. And I think once you master that, you master your mindset, you understand, you take some introspection and time to focus on yourself. You're going to understand that you are really in control of the ship and the destination of where your life goes. And when you start to live your life, you become the experience, and that way you can always be memorable for that woman, and then more than likely she'll fall in love with you because of the fact that you have so many experiences with her. That's my best
Right.
bet in 2023, bro, and going forward.
Yeah, the rock. No, and that's all. That's a very good gem that you just threw out there. No, that's true. Like, you want to just, like I said, bring a woman into your life, and you want to just show her that you're this like a cool, authentic guy who's comfortable with himself. And then one way to make that happen is the way you think about yourself. Because I mean, if you have a crappy mindset and you think shitty about yourself, you're not going to go out there and make anything fun in your life happen. You got to have the mindset to go out there and say, you fucking look, you're going to create a killer life for yourself.
Right. Facts. Nah, yeah, you're kicking gems, man. Man, I hope everybody really make sure that they rewind this, they listen to this because we're talking about a lot of things, dating in 2023, it's all about mindset and just being a man, man, because you'd be surprised. Focusing on yourself will solve so many problems that you think you have, but it's the order of operations. Worry about yourself, focus on yourself, become the best version of yourself, and every day will be an experience.
Right. I like that. Well, hey, thank you very much for coming on the show and like let people know where they can find you. Tell them about your YouTube channel. Like, this guy Alpha Jones has a really his YouTube channel is a kick ass, man.
Appreciate you, man.
I only catch the shows every once in a while.
I
Not
know. It's all
when
love,
I
man.
do, or when I listen to the replays of the shorts, it's just like
Awesome.
I said, you're very insightful, and every time
I
you really start
appreciate you.
talking about because you like go into detail and
For
everything.
sure. Man, thank you so much, Rob, man. It's always a goddamn pleasure, man. It's an honor to be on your show, man. I respect your grind and your growth. You inspire me and so many other people, guys. Make sure you check out my YouTube channel, Alpha Villains. I'm also on Instagram at Alpha Villains, and I got a morning show called Finish Your Breakfast with AV. Weekday mornings, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once again, man, it's always a pleasure. Keep grinding, and guys, it's never too late. Peace.
Rock on. And hey guys, thanks you for coming on the show. Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in today. And yeah, be sure to like the video, share it, and then yeah, I'll be back on this Saturday with Come On Man podcast. We'll be doing a live
Boom.
stream.
Awesome.
So I'm looking forward to that. And we'll definitely have you on here again, Alpha Films.
For sure, man. Anytime, brother. You already know that.
Rock on. Well, hey, thank you very much, guys. And be sure to like the video, check out Alpha Village channel, and we'll see you on the next stream.
Peace.